Hey guys, it's John C. Morley here, serial entrepreneur. Welcome to IFYL. Here is my hat. I'm sure you guys have seen it before, and it says, if you guys take a look there, it'll say believemeachieve.com. So believe, then meachieve.com. Welcome to IFYL. I'm so glad that you're with me here tonight. We'll get into the master topic in just a second for the week. Whether you're here at 11:36 p.m., 11:36 a.m., thank you so much for being here. I really do appreciate that from the bottom of my heart. So let's get right into this. So the master topic that we're ending the week on is impress yourself. Series 3, Show 11. And the granular topic for tonight is Mastering Self-Impression with John C. Morley's Empowering Insights, Series 3, Show 11, Episode 7. So this is a pretty cool episode because it's something that a lot of people don't understand, but it's something that can really impact your life. All right. Really, really impact your life. So let's talk about what that means. And we're going to get right into it, shall we? First one is the importance of impressing yourself. So everybody always says to me, hey, John, I want to impress other people, but I want to tell you, you want to impress yourself. It's very important because if you don't impress yourself, then you're going to miss out on a lot of things. Your body is not going to show up for you. It's not going to do the things you want it to do. That's the bottom line, ladies and gentlemen. So impress yourself. We'll talk about how to do that in a minute, but make the choice, ladies and gentlemen, to impress yourself. This is so key. We'll talk about more about this, but I want you to just understand that you should impress yourself. You really should impress yourself. And if you don't, then you're going to be like, sorry, but we'll talk more about that a little bit later. So impress yourself, impressing yourself. What is impressing yourself? Well, we've been talking about this all week, ladies and gentlemen. All week we've been talking about it. And so impressing yourself is about self-awareness. Okay, it's about growth. You're the only person that can move you forward. Okay, so you got to make that step. Brian Tracy made a great quote, and I'll quote him. Personal development is a major time saver. The better you become, the less time it takes you to achieve your goals. Personal development is a major time saver. The better you become, the less time it takes you to achieve your goals. Some things you can do to help invest in yourself so that you can get big rewards. Read, listen, or watch something new. Educate yourself. Make self-care a thing you do regularly. Choose to be happy. Learn how to manage your stress. Take better care of yourself. We talked about meditating, things like that. Begin making better choices for your body and mind. Start a side hustle. Take a class or attend a workshop. You just never know where things are going to lead. And you want to do something that's going to resonate with you. That's probably the most important thing, something that's going to resonate with you. So this is really about how we do it. And so thinking about how to do it. There are many. Let me get some water here, guys. Got a little flustered there, and I need a little bit of water. So when we think about impressing ourselves, okay, you set realistical promises, and then you measure them, and then you do achieve them. That's pretty much how it works. And I'll tell you, ladies and gentlemen, it's not hard to impress yourself, but you've got to do it from the core. You've got to do it with passion in your heart. That's probably the most important thing that I want to tell you. And if you don't do that, then I feel that it's just going to be like, it's going to be terrible. So empowering yourself, right? Empowering yourself to be a better version of yourself. That's what we talk about here a lot of times. And the how oftentimes gets people distracted. That's right. The how gets people distracted. It could be something like a health goal, a health promise. It could be something like a education or scholastical achievement you want to make. Maybe it's a financial achievement. Maybe it's a volunteering achievement. Maybe it's just something that you want to achieve because you feel it will be better to help you become greater, to help others in the world. So it's something you'll do to be able to help others. So that's a really cool thing. But thinking about importance and thinking about how to do it. So many people I talk to get flustered because they don't know how, and they get stumped on the how. They get absolutely stumped on the how. And if they get stumped on the how, then I feel it's going to be a big challenge in your life and many else's lives. So challenges will make a very huge, huge, huge thing. And the reason I say this is because if we know how to do something, then we're not going to be so like uptight. Think about how to impress yourself right now. Maybe it's you're working on something, and what I want to tell you to do is to show up early. First, show up, but show up early, because if you're on time, you're late. I've told you this before. When your body and mind sees that you're showing up early, it's like, all right, John's taking this really seriously. I better put everything we've got, 150%, whatever we got. I got to put everything all in. That's a pretty cool thing, ladies and gentlemen. But if you don't keep showing up, if you don't keep making the passion in your life, then you're going to get very flustered, and you're going to just wonder why things are the way they are. And so when we think about how to impress ourselves, we talked about different things we can do: courses, exercises, meditation, volunteering, doing a random act of kindness for someone. What else? Looking at the fact that everything has a positive spin to it. Maybe there's a challenge in life and you're like, oh, I can't believe this happened to me. Well, don't get sad. That's actually there to teach you a lesson. So embrace that lesson. I think that's really the most cool thing, is that you want to embrace that lesson. And so thinking about how to do it, don't get so flustered on the how, because just start. All right. If you keep getting flustered on the how, you're never gonna get anywhere. You're like, oh, it's kind of like if you're writing a book, right? You can't have every page perfect. You got to start somewhere, right? The amazing, let's say, journey can't ever finish if you never take the first step. So you don't have to be great to begin, but you have to begin to be great. Or what a lot of people say is you don't have to start to be great. You don't have to be great to start, excuse me, but you do have to start to be great. So that means that people are going to get better at things all the time in their lives. And if people get better at things, then it's like a big, big difference. All right. So now let's talk about the why. Why you should do it. Well, that's a great question. You should do it because it'll give you incredible benefits. Increased motivation. It will enhance your creativity. It'll give you a deeper sense of empowerment and fulfillment. And what this really is, ladies and gentlemen, is it's taking a mind shift of where you were to where you are now. And this mind shift, ladies and gentlemen, can actually revolutionize your life. It can actually revolutionize your life. And it's not hocus pocus, but it's because our mind is focusing on it. Our mind is thinking, well, this is what we have to do. This is what we need to do. And it's happening because we want to do it, not because we have to. So a lot of people say, oh, I got to impress this person, impress that person. Don't worry about impressing anybody. Impress yourself. When you impress yourself, eventually people are going to get impressed with you, but you're not doing it to impress them. You're doing it to impress you so you can achieve those milestones in your life. That's why you impress yourself. It's not to celebrate or, make somebody think that you're better. No, that's not why you do it. And there's another point I want to talk about here, and that is what happens if you don't. Well, if you don't impress yourself, there are consequences. You can neglect self-improvement. You can start to let mediocrity set in, and then you just kind of are stagnant. You can uncover the pitfall of self-doubt and stagnation. You can miss opportunities. They might be right in front of your very eyes, but you're going to miss them. You know why? Because you're already being negative. And when we're positive, our personal growth journey is that much more rewarding to us and to others around us. That is so, so powerful, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, it is so powerful. How many times have you done something and maybe you missed an opportunity, and you missed it because you didn't believe that it was possible? You didn't believe, and because you didn't believe, you never saw it when it was right there. You never knew it was right in front of your eyes. But now that you know, it's like you've got this whole new perception in life. That's pretty cool, if you ask me. So I picked this topic, empower in you, which is to impress yourself, because a lot of people think that it's not important to impress yourself. It's not important to celebrate. It's not important to really get ourselves going. So you know how you make a fire, right? Does anybody know how you build a fire? Well, let's review this for a second. So how do Boy Scouts build a fire? Well, I was an Eagle Scout, so I can tell you I was a Boy Scout too. So how to build the best campfire? And there have been contests all around for this in the Boy Scouts. So when we think about building the best fire, we want to think about, building up with kindle. Okay. But first we start with some matches, right? But we have to build the kindle up. Flint and steel, bow and drill, right? And then you get the flint and steel to get a spark, and then you have your kindle that kind of burns, and then you have to have wood to go on that right away. If you don't, then you know what happens? You actually miss the whole potential of it becoming a big fire because you weren't prepared. So the first thing we have tinder. Okay, if we have to start tinder, that's the thin, dry material that ignites instantly with a match. This can be like dead, dry grass, shredded inner bark of cedar trees, shavings cut from a stick or birch bark. Kindling burns fast and creates a bright smoke-free flame. That's kindling. Bone-dried sticks from pencils. They're thin to no larger than, let's say, your thumb. Bark does not burn well. You could split kindling, burns best, and then you need an armload of that for each fire you build. And fuel. Wood needed to keep your fire going. So you have the tinder, the stuff that goes immediately, and then you have kindling, which burns fast and creates a bright smoke-free flame. And then you've got fuel, which is the wood needed to keep your fire going. And you split logs. You can burn those, and some wood burns better than others, which we can talk about. But some campers can actually be able to tell the species apart. They can gather dead, dry wood from a wide area of land away from camp. Then you have fire starters. Handy but not essential. You can buy them or make your own, like cotton balls dipped in petroleum jelly, cigar-sized logs rolled from newspaper and dipped in melted paraffin or clothes dryer lint. You should never use gasoline to start a fire. But petroleum jelly is very, very flammable. So it's important to have rules, right? The thinner the wood, the faster and the more smoke-free it'll burn. Smoke tells you that the fire needs more oxygen. Wood burns better when organized in roughly parallel layers. You don't want to overload the fire base. So what you want to do is you want to create a teepee. lean-to, and then like a log cabin. So you can do a TP, blow up a hand of tinder and set it on the ground and arrange pencils and thin kindling. You can do a lean-to on a soft ground, poke a dry stick into the soil at 45-degree angle and set a handful of tinder around that. Log cabin, you can set 2 wrist-thick sticks parallel on the ground. So you can burn a couple ways. So you have the TP, you have the lean-to, and then you have the log cabin approach. Every fire should abide by laws, okay, and leave no trace. So build a fire only in areas where wood is abundant. The fire should cause no further negative impact on the land. The best place to build a fire is within an existing fire ring, and the use of a fire pan is also a good alternative. And you can keep the fire small and burning only for the amount of time you're using it. The fire should not degrade the surrounding area as a result of the concentrated trampling of people who are cooking and socializing. Okay. After fully extinguishing a campfire with water, not dirt, grind small coals to ashes between your gloved hands. Thoroughly soak the ashes with water and scatter the cold ashes over a wide area of the plant-covered ground away from camp. So you grind small coals to ash between your glove hands. So that's a pretty cool thing to make sure that it's going to work. And then you soak the ashes and then you put that on. That's just another way, right? But I think it's important that we understand that if we don't spend time to impress ourselves. I remember the first time I made a fire. I remember the first time I actually got my totemship badge, because you're not allowed to do, whittling. You can't make a fire if you can't whittle. So I had to, get the totemship badge, which is basically a card. And if you do anything wrong, they chip a piece off the card. You lose all 4 pieces. They take the totemship card away, and you can't play with fire or with. Actually, it's axe. It's axes or knives. So let's just go over that again. So what is a totem? It's called a totemship card in Scouts. It basically states that you have gone through the proper training and that you're going to be responsible. Okay. So a totemship card basically allows you to use wood tools, proper handling, care, pocket knife, axe, and a saw. And you have to respect all safety rules to protect others, respect property, cut living and dead trees only with permission and with good reason. Okay. So this is very, very important, ladies and gentlemen. And I think if we make a habit in our lives to impress ourselves, other people are going to get impressed, but we're going to be able to surpass boundaries that we never thought were possible. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, I'm John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur. This has been amazing. Privilege and pleasure to be with you this fantastic evening, but this entire week. We have a brand new master topic starting off tomorrow, and we have a guest joining us tomorrow. So you're definitely going to want to check that out. Have yourself a fantastic rest of your night. I'll catch you guys tomorrow, right? Be well, everyone.